Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Because 7, 8, 9. Because 6 saw it or thought it did, or maybe just heard it secondhand from 5, who lies. Because 8 was inside 7 and 9 was missing, and no one asked 10 because 10 never answers, just shows up late with blood on its decimal. 6 is afraid of 7 because 7 didn't chew. 7 devours. 7 devours and smiles and calls it digestion. 6 says it's not afraid, but 6 locks its doors at night. 6 says, I know what 7 did, but 7 says, prove it. And 8 won't talk about it. 8 says nothing, just sits in the corner, infinite looping on itself, a figure 8 fever dream that loops until memory forgets it exists. 9 is missing. But sometimes 9 answers the phone, sounds different, sounds older, says, I was never eaten. I was erased. 6 knows that 7 knows that 8 forgot what 9 screamed before vanishing. And now 6 is stuck in the hallway between them, repeating, I know that you knew that I thought 9 said 8 was lying about what 7 did after 6 tried to stop it. I knew that you knew that I knew, but now I don't know if I ever knew what knowing was before 6 and 7 started chewing. If 7, 8, 9, and 8 saw it, but 6 remembers and also forgets, was any of it real? 10 doesn't comment. 10 never comments. Then 5 steps in, uninvited, says, all of you are being dramatic. And that's how the pain scale works. A bunch of traumatized numbers trying to act like they all still count. First pour. A vowel loosens in the glass, spirals red, spirals slow, bubbles breaking like secrets in my throat. I drink. I drown, I rise in ink, my tongue bruised sweet with syllables I can't resist. Second pour. Consonants strike the rim, clink of glass and clink of ice, tap of time, little teeth, little prayers of percussion. I swallow the stutter, hold it, burns it, blesses it, bends me open. I keep drinking the page. Nouns bloom like bruises, verbs catch fire on my tongue, smoke curling out of silence, every word a match, every hush a drumbeat, every line a dare. Pour, pause, another pour. The stanza stumbles, laughs at its own lilt, spills cherry syllables down my chin. I lick the drip, I lick the drip again. Nothing holy about it except the way it hurts so good. Ache pressed tight against my throat. Last glass, I promise last gasp, but the glass grows larger, the air grows louder, and I forgot my name. Silence is the cruelest sobriety. It scrapes the tongue with frost, leaves me clawing at clarity, so I chase it again. A darker pour, a darker hymn, a little monster of metaphor purring in my hand, and you are somewhere in this bottle of breath, amber vowels steeped in your mouth. Say my name once, and the night tilts forward twice, and everything unfastens, and a third time, and I am undone. I can't tell if I'm reading you or if you're reading me from the inside, turning my marrow into margins, writing thunder into my skin. You pour like patience, you pour like ruin, you pour like the one word I was never meant to say aloud. The room begins to ripple. Chandeliers of commas swing parentheses. They open like palms in need. A period falls, fizzles, vanishes. No endings tonight, only ellipses, only sentences peeling off certainty, bead by bead, breath by breath. I am listening with my skin now. The poem plays a bass line of violet down the slope of my neck, drums a cinnamon hush across my wrist, fills the air with red electricity. I am a shrine made of breathing. I am a bar made of glass bones. Sip, slip, slur, syntax, barefoot, sanction, drunk. We dance. There's danger in the sugar. There is sugar in the danger. Sharp, singed, sainting scorch. Give me heat until I pray and smoke. Every sip rewrites my stance. And I want every glass of your voice, every pore of your throat, every hush that hurts. Give me your guttural gold, your dark liquor of promise, your consonants clothed in sin. The poem lies beautifully. I forgive it. I forgive me. I become the rumor I'm reading, the hazard humming honey. I blur into the instrument mouth, the minor key. I toast the miscount, the exquisite stumble, the line that lunges, then catches on a single shining syllable. I drink to the concussion of meaning, to the glitter bruise logic leaves when it kisses too hard. If this is ruin, pour it. If this is prayer, pour it. If this is both, pour until the glass remembers the ocean. My lips memorize music first, then words, then whatever I was before words. The poem unlaces me slowly, teaching my breath to speak in cursive, my silence to moan in ink. How soft the cliff can be when the song is right. How quiet the fall when rhythm carries you like silk. I fall and call it floating. I fall and call it holy. I fall and I will not sober gently. Not tonight. Let morning fine be glowing. Ink-stained, glass-throated, my laugh a spill of guarded fire. Let it read the wreckage on my tongue and call it gospel. One more. Just one more. Thank you. So that was Drunk on Poems. I hope you enjoyed it, just as I enjoyed writing it. I like words, okay? What can I say? I like them. They like me back a little bit sometimes. My final piece is a new piece. So I am learning new languages because I like them. Yoruba is a new one that I am trying out and I love it. It's beautiful. So this one is called Iparum, Ruin Me. Agio, Jekin fi ahon re, wo inumi. I want to caress your syllables. Those slick fugitives shivering mid-formation, still wet with almost, resisting the shape they were summoned to wear. And that is where I ache best. What spills from you escapes naming. It gathers along the unsettled edges of breath between sounds that stammer and stay inside the echo that drips before it dares to declare itself. There was a syllable, born before certainty, hidden in the marrow of something unnamed. I tasted it, raw, reluctant, ripe like plum skin torn too soon, yet swallowed with reverence. Habla, pero desde la ira, que un canta, una grita sin consuela, una boca sin mapa, donde el fuego fue primero. Some words are not said. They devour vowels from the inside. You sighed a sound I'd never survived before, and it sank into me like a needle dipped in nectar, like a secret sliced thin, then slipped beneath my name, and something inside me tried to flee but bowed instead. Your clavicle and accent mark I misplaced on purpose again and again because I want to mispronounce your body into scripture. Those were the syllables I knelt for, and you let me. Even as my tongue forgets its lineage, even as I drift into dialects of ache, I drank your almost until they became always. Inje, basi, orig, bagaba, ti, isa. Let me kneel on everything you haven't said yet. Listening bent me, stretched my vowels, soothed my sharpness, and now I speak what you merely said. Smuggled in a hush, carried behind my lips, wild, salted, still alive. Your mouth made me ache into alphabet. You are the ruin I crawl toward, the unwritten litany I mouth in the dark with my mouth full of shadow. What I became to write this was never meant to follow. What's left of me speaks in another tongue. Onche parun me, you ruined me. Boya mon ferran re ganan. Maybe I crave it. Maybe. Maybe I crave it.
They built a road to space out of minimum wage workers. They drove over them in Teslas while complaining that they're all shirkers. I'm not saying it's surprising. Greed is not exactly novel. But this Ponzi scheme writ large requires the lower classes to grovel at the feet of those who hold the cash, until they apparently don't. Not when it's time to pay their tax. That's why. It's not that they won't. Of course, why should they have to? They don't use public infrastructure. Their trucks are flown by unicorns with freight by Loch Ness monsters. Let's privatize it all. Why not? Healthcare's going swell. Totally reasonable to go into debt just because you weren't feeling well. The great lie of individualism is fraying and ripping at the seams. It ignores our lived realities. It's too comfortable at the extremes. Humanity has always thrived because of compromise, because we take care of each other, because collectively we thrive. We have evolved into these creatures, so dominant, so complex. Tamed the wild through invention with our giant prefrontal cortex. But the thing about these big old brains is that they are too large. So we are born inherently useless, needing someone else's charge. Without that crucial ability to care and share and compromise, we'd never survive childhood. As a species, we would die. So here is some truth, delivered from outside eyes. Trickle down was just a fairy tale, and only the richest fill their cup, paying off a two-party circus where every issue's a dust-up. It's not surprising, though, hypocrisy from the ground up. Founding fathers spoke of freedom while owning people. That's fucked up. Stop arguing about minutia. Try helping the poor to move on up. Someone has to do the cooking and the cleaning and wash up. They do not deserve to struggle because the rich won't just cough up what the market is demanding for the labor. Just pay up. Maybe it's not too late to save it if you start from bottom up. But right now, I'm sorry to say it, you might want to just give up. The American dream's a waking nightmare. So stop sleeping. Rise up.
Allow me to introduce a poet and his crutch. I'd like to take you to a place that's gone, to meet a man who isn't there, not anymore. And you might not recognize his absence in the midst of the flowers bursting from his eye sockets. This poet walks with a limp. Come see the crater. Trace a path in trials past. I want you to meet a hero who got his ass kicked. Witness his weakness. Smell his doubt. In amongst the smoldering ash, there's something that was a man who really tried. See his family strong against sickness, broken by his broken mind, taken away or left behind, scattered. Taste the white tang of rubbing alcohol. Watch the electrodes get attached. Here's the intravenous needle. Feel winter run up your arm and claim your consciousness. Now it's vomit time. Knees hard against the floor, clinging to the porcelain for hope, waiting on the purge. Come meet a man who hides behind his metaphors, who was twice tested in the forge of hospital beds, his brain thinly sliced against the grain. See the smiling man who hobbles on, who under the hammer found steel, who rose again today, despite the limp and the empty eye sockets. He keeps walking. Now meet the man I have become.
When Daddy told us the grits thing, I was still in school, 15, 16, just getting interested in relationships, not sex, just how it worked between men and women, the psychology, the sociology of how folks got together, got along. Let me start by saying I was a very protected girl, not in the sense of being hovered over or not encouraged to adventure. I had sisters who would fuss with me, but fight my battles come push to shove. My mother taught me defense via sharp tongue and wicked wit, the way Southern women do. And my father, well, Daddy was a combat veteran Golden Gloves champ who had a miniature gun collection and made no secret that even looking cross-eyed at a girl of his was not an option. When Daddy told us the grits thing, it was after growing up years of watching how my parents danced late in the living room, spent walks holding hands and making mutual, respectful decisions, watching arguments that didn't always end like fairy tales, but ended, watching Valentine's addressed to his special angel, watching the pride on her face when he sang with the God's messengers. Years of watching how men and women needed to relate to each other. Years of hearing stories from friends and seeing stuff in other people's houses that would later make my parents purse lips or shake disapproving heads saying, no, or we don't do like that. Years of friends whose fathers treated their mothers like property, or stupid, or not as good as, talk trash about women with their wives or girls or daughters looking embarrassed or scared or too beat down to breathe, saying to my father that you wish you'd had some boys instead of all those girls. Daddy was never what you might call amused by those words. Made sure we didn't spend much time around such folk. Made sure we knew better than to listen to men like that. Made sure we knew better than to be women like that. When Daddy told us the grits thing, my mother was big into Al Green. Y'all know, the soul singer, Arkansas boy. Mr. Let's Stay Together, which Tina Turner redid and did better, but I digress. Women used to swoon, listen tight, and late at night to his sound. My mother got this look of ecstasy and anticipation dancing around the living room. I personally had no use for him. Too much music, too full of himself. Besides, I was Stevie's girl. But again, I digress. Don't know if y'all know, but the true stories of Black entertainment lives came quick down the Black church and community pipeline. Doings and rumors and goings on were well known way before they hit the real news. In 74, Mr. Here I Am, Come and Take Me got stupid with his girl, who paid him back with boiling grits yanked right off the stove and poured all over his sorry self. And if you were Black, you knew all about it long before the entertainment mags and papers did. Baptism comes hard some days. Old Al got religion and became the Reverend Green right quick in 76. A little while after my sisters and me doing afternoon chores or homework, something, Daddy called us into the formal dining room, had us sit and be quiet, asked had we heard about it. Yeah, we heard. Okay. You know you don't let some man put his hands on you, right? We'd been taught right. We nodded our heads and said, well, yeah, we know, Daddy. We know. My father cleared his throat. Now, when Daddy cleared his throat, it was about to get deep. Daddy grunted, cleared his throat, just straightened our eyes and said, any man ever puts his hands on you, any man ever puts his hands on you, you put some grits on the stove and call your daddy. Y'all got it? We got it. That was 40 some years ago. My daddy's been gone 15 years and more. There have been a fair number of fellas, some just out for sex, some exploring relationships. I've watched and listened and learned. I'm better at understanding the psychology, the sociology of how folks get and stay together. I remember being taught right by years of fights that didn't always end in fairy tales, pride in each other, and Valentines. I am forever open to the psychology, the sociology of men and women and how we get together. I deeply believe in equal decisions dancing late at night in the living room. That being said, every kitchen I've ever lived in features several large pots for boiling and at least one freshly purchased box of grits. Being who I am is a 24/7, no breaks, no days off. What I was born to be, born to do in this world has always been apparent. No apologies, no questions. And on the days and nights where I toss or cry because I'm hurt or passed over tired, or I really just cannot take it still, again, one more damn time, you are there. Pushing, scolding, lecturing, singing, comforting, singing, pulling me, singing, you are always there. And I need to remember, I have to remember why I'm here, how I got this place, the debt to my beforeborns, to my grandparents, whether I met you or not, to my father, my mother, even in my darkest times, I have not forgotten you. I owe you. And I'm good for it, I promise. Times are turning very dark around here right now. I could let my heart break, but I can't take time to clean up the mess. There is too much left for me to do. I suppose I could step back, but I don't know how. I suppose I could run away. I don't know how. I wish I could fold my wings and live quiet and keep still and just let my words dance for me alone, make pretty wall pictures in my mind, but you hobbled my soul with grace and responsibility. You chained my heart to passion and possible. You made sure that I would never escape the confines of honor. I don't know how, because I have not forgotten you. I owe you, and I'm good for it, I promise. Sometimes that promise is all that will let me breathe. Most days, that promise is my personal lifesaver, keeps me from drowning in seas of trouble or treason or my own exhausted tears. Hell, with what the world is bringing my way, I will need that promise to act as heartbeat till my heart stops liable to break. You always said I was hard-headed, but you also said I never forgot a word you said, and I haven't. I don't. I wouldn't dare. Because every tear, every joy, every pain, every exaltation is for you. And the ones before me, and the ones coming up. I might not sing loud, but I'm keeping on singing. Might not breathe easy, but I'm in and exhaling clear. The walk forward mightn't be steady, but I move. I'm always going to move forward. It is flow written on my heart, tempered in my bones. I was born swaddled in affirmation, baptized in belief, and anybody who knows me knows this girl keeps her promises. Doesn't matter what it costs. So y'all can lay your heads down. Rest light. Your girl has not got lost. My head is kept up. My back is kept straight. You can sleep, knowing I have not forgotten you. I owe you, and I'm good for it. I promise.
They say speech is free, but I keep getting invoices every time truth shows up uninvited. They want to declaw my lines and make my vows polite, as if the right to speak comes with the dress code. They tag my outrage as sensitive content while broadcasting hatred in high definition, wanting to blur a history that built me while muting syllables that saved me. Then have the nerve to ask why my tone sounds like a warning siren. Every platform's just another padded cell where walls delete your words in real time and call it community standards, fearing a stanza more than a loaded clip. Did you know a single poem can collapse a regime faster than bullets? And that's why they police our metaphors like they're contraband. We're licensed by ones who survived the unspeakable, inked by calluses of field hands, taught to weaponize rhyme when forbidden to read. We answer, but not to fragile gatekeepers who tremble at the sound of our unapologetic blackness. I filed my freedom under poetic license. No permit required to set a stage or a page on fire. No disclaimer stamped needed on my grief. I will not resize my bars to fit character limits. I will not bleach my fury into hashtags. Every word I drop is an affidavit of existence signed in handwriting of the unsilenced, proving the First Amendment was never theirs to lease. You can suspend my account, shadow ban my syllables, fine me for every decibel of dissent, but these poems will keep breaking out, like air breathing through locked doors. Freedom is not a gift you get to repossess. It's mine by breath, by birth, by bar, and this pen stays locked and loaded, so consider this your warning shot.
This is a poem about waiting, about wasting, about withering on the vine, about standing in line behind a person who can't find their damn debit card. I've waited for doctors who are always behind, and buses with no concept of time, and concerts that were supposed to have started at 9. I've waited for surgeries I was denied and promotions that never materialized, and some days it feels like maybe I'm just waiting to die. It all feels so heavy. Each tick-tock of the clock, a weight that is dropped, pulling you down and down and down. But I suppose that's common ground, because whatever you're waiting for, someone somewhere has also held that heavy weight before. But as hard as those wasted seconds feel, one day, you will find yourself in a waiting that feels weightless, as if you have achieved G-force, and for a moment, and you know it can only last a moment, but for that moment, everything else drops away. You float above your life like an apparition, tetherless and suspended, possessions and loved ones circling you slowly in an astronautical ballet. Nothing matters here, not while you heft this kind of weight. Because whatever it is that you are waiting for, whatever has thrown you airborne and sucked the oxygen from the atmosphere, whatever that may be, it could change the course of your life completely. And it is agony and peace all at once, this moment before the axe falls. Because if you just stay in this moment, the blade never lands. The path never breaks. Your loved one could still wake. If you just stay in this moment, the worst won't come to pass. The wave will never crest. You will be able to rest. And for the first time, you want to keep waiting. Because what comes next is too much to bear. And for a moment, for that moment, you know it cannot last forever. But in that moment, there is still hope. But it will end. It always does. You will come crashing to the ground, the pieces of your life smashing around you, and find yourself in a crater that was never there before. The landscape of your life indelibly changed, and suddenly it all feels so much heavier than it did. So heavy, you wonder how you're supposed to shoulder it. So broken, you don't know if you can put it back together, and all the waiting that you have ever done. All those heavy hours or frustrated minutes or laden seconds, they now feel laughably light in hindsight, because now you know the secret that we only learn with time. that the universe has plans that we cannot divine, and that if you could choose to stand in an unmoving line until the end of time instead of this new paradigm, you would do it. But the waiting is over. Time only moves forward. So this is a poem about waiting, because if you just wait long enough, you will learn that the waiting is not the worst part.
This is the gorilla figurine. What would you ask the dead? The ball cap turned to its side looks a little like how Jaw wears his caps. The cap itself is more what Jim wears, though I haven't seen that color on his head. Jim would never smoke a cigar. I haven't smoked in years. The valet is enjoying a cigarette between helping old folks into wheelchairs. The parking spaces here are large enough for my car. I'm trying to remember what the doctor told me about the procedure that made my memory all fucked up. He told me why the whole thing went sideways, and he was actually apologetic, but I can't remember what he said. I haven't seen him since that day. That would have been a few weeks after the procedure that fucked up my memory. I don't know what year that was. Someone asked me what happened, and I couldn't tell them. I forgot. A man yelling at a woman behind a desk. Another man loudly shaking his head, but not yelling at a woman behind a desk. A woman behind a desk looking like she does this every single fucking day. A nurse who never made eye contact but held my wrist. Or maybe I never looked at her. A doctor who wanted my blood and had the nurse walk me to the lab. I think he was rightfully afraid that I wouldn't make it there on my own. I'm terrified of needles. A 76-year-old woman who got married last year and has trouble remembering her new name. I imagine sitting at a computer that can answer any question I ask it, and the cursor is blinking, and time is passing by, and the cursor is blinking, and I can't think of a question to ask, and the cursor is blinking. He has so much potential. If only he would apply himself, didn't read enough, didn't study enough, went outside instead of doing homework, spent time with life and trees and friends and endless bicycle rides. My father left when I was 17 and broke my heart. I loved him with everything I had to give. When I felt him pull away, I tried harder to show him that I was worth keeping. He sat in the corner in one dream and didn't say anything. He was just present. And I think that's the one that got me. That's when his presence really started to bother me. You'd remember if you wanted to. God damn. My grandfather sat next to me as we drove him to the bank. He wanted to tell me something so badly, but he didn't. I wonder if he didn't have the words or the courage. Is that harsh? If I could speak to him again, I'd ask him if he healed. Could he heal? Did he ever escape from the chair in the front room where he waited for his mother to come back? Can my memory heal? Can I?
They said I don't exist. Said I'm too magical to be real, too proud to be peaceful, too loud to be quiet. They called me myth, but I'm just black and breathing, and that alone makes me unbelievable. They see my mane glow midnight and mistake it for menace. See my horn sharpened with history and assume I came for vengeance, but nah, I came for healing. For every cut my ancestors caught while bleeding in silence. For every dream lynched from a branch tree and called compliance. I was born between protest signs and songs, between tears and tambourines, between hands up and he still dreams. I am proof that beauty and trauma could share the same bloodstream. They haunted me because they couldn't name me. Feared me because they couldn't tame me. Tried to break my horn into imaginable pieces, call it law and order. Tried to cage my gallop in red lines and borders. They say I'm so articulate. Like fluency is foreign to my species, as if I'm not the descendant of griots whose tongue carved freedom into frequencies. I come from a long line of miracles, melanin wrapped in defiance. I am God's favorite metaphor and America's least favorite science. Every time I trot through their doubt, I'm leaving hoof prints in the concrete of their ignorance. Every rainbow they stole from my spirit, I repainted in resilience. They call me myth. But do you ever see a nation build laws just to catch a legend? Ever see a jury debate if a fairy tale deserved to be executed? They fear my glow, so they dim my stories. Call me statistic instead of symbol. Call me threat instead of miracle. Mama said, don't let them convince you your shine is too bright. But sometimes I get tired of glowing in a world addicted to night. Tired of explaining my innocence to men who can't even spell equality right. Tired of apologizing for the thunder in my veins and the poetry in my fight, but I keep running. Hooves cracking the pavements of prejudice. Every gallop, gospel, breath, baptism, tear, testament. And one day when the smoke clears and the sky remembers how to blush, they'll see the light breaking through my skin and realize I was never their enemy. Just proof that even in a world this cruel, something pure still chooses to exist. So me, no, I ain't a myth. I'm a mirror, and if you look close enough, you'll see the part of you that forgot how to believe. I asked Pops a question. I said, Pops, what's love in a cold-hearted generation? Because out here, I miss you sounds like manipulation, and I love you comes with conditions and expiration dates. We don't court anymore. We calculate. We don't build, we barter. We don't pray together, we perform for followers. What's love supposed to look like when forever got an algorithm? Pop said love ain't gone, it's just guarded. It's wearing armor made of trauma because vulnerability got caught lacking too many times. My generation built walls out of work ethic. Yours built them out of Wi-Fi and worry. You think love is something to trend, but love ain't a filter, it's friction. It's not just hands held, it's hands healed after they've dropped what hurt them. I told them, but Pops, we seen hearts freeze mid-beat. Watch, I got you turn to ghost mode overnight. We pour into people with empty cups, then drown them in the same drought we try to save them from. Called trauma loyalty, confuse attachment with affection, write God's plan over what we broke ourselves. I've been trying to be honest, but honesty feel like suicide letters out here. He said, then stop trying to love like that how they do out here. Love ain't supposed to feel safe all the time, but it ain't supposed to feel survival either. Real love ain't a rescue mission, it's revelation. You don't find it scrolling, you find it serving. Love in a cold world ain't about finding warmth, it's about becoming it. It's the decision to be fire, even when no one's striking the matches with you. I asked him, well, how do you stay warm? When the world turned frostbite into fashion, when affection looks like flexing, when consistency sounds corny, how do you keep loving when forever keeps filing for divorce? He said, boy, I've been married to struggle longer than I've been married to joy. And both taught me love doesn't quit when the weather changes. Love doesn't fear the cold. It learns to build firewood from rejection. You call it heartbreak, I call it curriculum. God uses pain like professors. The lessons aren't pretty, but it's permanent. Love ain't just romance, it's resistance. It's showing up in full color when the world keep asking you to dim down the grayscale. It's forgiveness you don't feel like giving. It's grace you give without the receipt. It's the hand you extend even when yours has been left hanging before. I sat there quiet, thinking maybe love ain't gone. It's just misunderstood. It ain't cold out there. It's cautious. And some of us stopped believing in love because we forgot what it cost. But Pop said, if you want to know what love looks like in a cold-hearted generation, look in the mirror when you still choose kindness, when you still write poems instead of revenge, when you still forgive without applause, when your heart still beats loud in a world that profits off silence. He smiled. I swear for a second the room felt lighter. The room felt warmer. The weight has been lifted. Maybe love isn't extinct. It's just evolving. Maybe God froze the world so the only genuine ones who would keep burning. So only the genuine ones who would keep burning. Love didn't go cold. It's just waiting for the ones brave enough to stay warm. Loaded.
I am out here in the void. Not my bones, of course. Not any meat left to speak of. Not the horrid, messy muscle, not the toothpick ossifications which held me together. A scarecrow, which scares not one single crow. I am out here sending signals to you. Thank you for holding me up those nights. Thank you for laughing into my hands, for holding my head when I hurt so bad. I was the food one, the lack of food one, but no one else ever touched me again. Never held me drowning, never spat in my eye, never tore my clothes, never told me I should fuck them or die. I am out here floating so light like petals, and I don't fall in any wind. And I am so light, so slight like a small child, and no one tells me that 70 pounds is too thin. No one tells me what to eat or anything else for that matter. Like we need to change your feeding tube, or we need to give you your meds now, or it's time for your weigh-in, or it's time for group art therapy, or your family isn't coming to see you tomorrow. Please don't feel bad that I didn't make it, because I am so much happier without my archaic body of heavy bone, muscle, and hair, which floated like arsenic death pools, so much of it around my face like spaghetti. I couldn't bear to be anything else but a tree limb, just limbs up, leaves open, seeing nothing, no red, just out here floating, placidly dead. Out here floating, but happy and thin. And I think I'd like to do this one. It's short. These obviously are about when I was hospitalized for depression and an eating disorder and for trying to being suicidal when I was a teenager. But then they also come back to haunt me because I was then hospitalized again when I was 40. And that was horrific. And the pain is just more awful, really, when you get taken away from your children and put in the institution, and you come out worse. Anyway, this one is called Inpatient. I think my room was number 14. One time my pastor came, I think his name was Mark. He came to visit, I suppose, to bless me, and the nurses, they asked me, may he come in? And I didn't know what to do, so I said, no, he cannot. But I've wondered all these 24 years since, might I have succumbed to Jesus? Might I have been reborn? Maybe even saved on the life raft that religion has the propensity to relay. I would have saved all the disgusting food, all the hangovers, all that wasted energy from trying to kill myself so stupidly, so slowly. Mark, the pastor, came to visit, and in fear of man and God's eye upon my body, on my sin, I never opened the door to let him in.
You're such an enigma. I reflect you as we are the same in tone, dark brown skin. Why are you disappointed in me? I'm always feeling your disappointment. You are not connected to me, and you're my daddy. What's wrong with me? That you don't want to hold me? Do I remind you of the things of your past? Or the hardships you endured? Do I do my missing perfections offend you? These questions you can't answer because you're no more. Daddy, you're an enigma. Mirror, mirror, shining bright. Reflect my nature, or think that despite the many pretenses disguised as images of the real sea. Mirror, mirror, cracks appear, distorting the broken pieces, still beautiful as they appear, being looked upon with deep, austere curiosity and despair. Mirror, mirror, empty frame, horridly hollow, sodden, and frayed, nothing Absolutely nothing remains but a Cheshire Cat smile displayed hanging in the empty space of the mirror. Summertime, and the living is easy. Man, these loud forethoughts and philosophical rantings, I mean, these tyrannical screamings. Oh, what's the AI meaning of this synthetic genesis? Borg like assimilation, hybrid living amongst the masses. Resistance is futile. In this ongoing battle of the genealogy of man, its strain is coming to a theater near you. Next stop, AI Humanity, the Destructor Edition. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine of my altered mind. Oh, these sweet, sweet brain waves flowing in the fields of gray matter, bringing visual, mental, 3D clear versus the artificial technology created to replace the original customized brain computer you. Coming to a human near you, cyborg human, a romance story. Summertime. Let us sit back in the sublime memories of what used to be, organics of the 20th century in its explosive simplicity, 21st century technology, AI synchronicity, this state of man's distress is a hot, hot mess. And my poet name is Crimzon Red.
My son and I was conversing over a bowl of ice cream, and randomly when we were speaking, he asked me why my favorite ice cream was butter pecan. Had me thinking of a reason. At first, I was like, well, for one, it's always in season. A bowl of butter pecan in a movie is like the best way to end the evening. It's like vanilla ice cream, but with extra seasoning. But seriously, when I thought about it, I got it from my mama. She got it from her mama, and my great-grandmother made it by hand in a tin can, and my dad loved it too. And I started thinking, this is just what old people do. It's just old nigga behavior. Like, why that flavor? I ain't think it was nothing major, but as it turns out, it was born out of something greater. Just like the rest of American history. It was racism for sure. They thought vanilla was too pure for us colored folks, so no root beer and vanilla floats, allowing us to only have vanilla ice cream on July 4th like some kind of joke. I mean, that's the day that's supposed to represent independence and freedom. Pretend that we're all equal on that day of all days is the only day that people are allowed to be people. When white people rallied together but wasn't mobbing, in the sun basking in how much they've been robbing, and black people eat vanilla ice cream, silently sobbing, praying for a better option. I don't mean options like 31 flavors. And no, I ain't talking like ice cream. Even though we thought the Metropolitan would be more Neapolitan, but who can think about ice cream when you can hear the screams of people hollering? And if they would stop access to a dessert, then what you think they did to scholarships? Wealth or politics, health or acknowledgement. What vanilla means in America has one hell of a following. I scream, you scream, we all scream for equality. I remember tasting after ice cream trucks as a kid. Embarrassing thinking about it, how I would get so excited. We dance a jig, singing to that song. How many times there ain't no telling. But then I got the scoop that the name of that song was Nigga Want a Watermelon. Shit. I even hated those pointy cones as a kid. I thought it looked like the KKK and their mask and hoods. America is just like McDonald's because this ice cream machine just doesn't work like it should in the hood. Because it's been a rocky road. Nothing's been all cookies and cream. I mean, look at the foreigners that was in the pursuit of the American dream. Now they tell their kids if they see ice, scream, traumatized, they walk on eggshells with bad nerves. So the very mention of that frozen dairy treat is a bad word. Any given Sunday when those ice cream trucks roll up is not a soft serve. Of course, it's just parfait for the course. I mean, I Googled this other French term to find out what it means and seeing that Alamo means served in the current fashion. And racism is just as American as apple pie. Oh, and vanilla ice cream. They never found her body. Oddly, the police say they completed their investigation and closed the case. Cold case, like her body disappeared with no trace. Family can't show face, no place to go safe, no safe to store dignity. She's now an entity. And the 17-year-old girl she was before is just a memory looking through the window at her family like, do you even remember me? And the tears have stopped running because they ran out of energy or ran out of empathy, but vividly she can't see herself in the mirror like she has no reflection. So she roams her school with no direction, tried to raise her hand to answer her teacher's question, but can't feel her arms, her hands, her fingers, can't feel happiness or eager, no voice when she wanted to be a singer because the police handled her case like it was just a misdemeanor. Now she's fading in and out of reality like she has this misdemeanor. She doesn't stay. She doesn't go. She doesn't do either. She just lingers and all she smells is ether. Because she remembers her autopsy, DNA swabbing, just for it to be a cold case, cold table, cold tray, cold instruments, cold face, cold room, cold space, ticking the clocks, cold play, cold hands. Is visions best served cold or lukewarm on a cold plate? But she wasn't murdered. She was raped. And I know that's not the word that we like to say, but she was raped on her very first date. And in order to survive and stay alive, she disconnected from her body. She has no body, so she feels like she's nobody. Full of talents, but no hobbies. Faith is gone, so there's no problems. She thinks her name is the last thing she screamed. No, Tommy, it's easy to tell a police officer what was stolen in a robbery. Try to itemize your property, receipts for art, tapestry, and pottery. Obviously, you can't tell an officer that he stole your body, your name, your happiness. Ask Jesus of Nazareth to put you back in your body like Lazarus, because no amount of money can make her whole. And she just want to make it home. But even home is wrong. House full of family, but still home alone. Her father, he just angry. He want to kick some ass. Her mother gives her a look like that's what you get for being fast, and her clothes feel like a body bag. She just want her body back. Anybody want to scream but never seen by anybody. Everybody, look, it's the girl with nobody, and nobody wants nobody with nobody. It was stolen. She was broken. Her cold case, it was frozen. As though everybody believed her. Nobody believed her. And I didn't either. She never found her body.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. Oh, things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Mercy went missing. It left its name magnetized on a fridge filled with frost and absence. On the 1st of the month, 11 million children will open their cabinets like coffins and call it breakfast. They'll sip rust water from chip cups, bite silence into shape, chew air with the practiced grace of pretend. The fridge will hum a hospice hymn, low and steady like a grandmother praying through pain, and somewhere a paper plate will bear the word future in fading Sharpie. Not empty, not full, just waiting to be erased. Tick. 1 in 5 homes holds its hunger like a hymn. Talk. 100 billion feet snap, still not enough for the silence. Tick. 170 billion feeds ice. Talk. 1 billion more funds cages with glass walls. Talk. 13 billion cuts classrooms into compliance. Tick. You tasting this yet? Grandma boiled bones till the pot wept, and Mama turned coupons into cuisine, and now the youngest blesses ketchup packets and ultimatum foil and fake sugar. This is inheritance, a recipe of rationed dreams served rare past, plate to plate in the hush between paydays. No cradle escapes the rhythm, no mouth forgets the math. Did you vote? Did your ballot box bleed or bloom? Are you humming hope or lip syncing empathy? Are you a witness or just a watcher with Wi-Fi? See, I learned to eat slow, not just for mindfulness, but because seconds were bedtime stories that were never told twice. I spooned shame into silence, seasoned guilt with gratitude, chewed each bite like a memory I wasn't allowed to keep. My teeth remember what my mouth forgets. Now close your eyes. Picture a child or someone else's and ask them, what did you eat today? And wait and don't interrupt. Now fold this poem in half. One side weighted with hunger, the other with quiet. Pick a sound. Choose what you can carry. But know that only one has teeth. The other consumes you slowly. Wagyu walks to war. Foie gras follows fear. Children receive a paper plate marked future in a marker drying out. No food, just font. The tasting menu consists of absence, apology, audit. The receipt sleeps under your pillow, signed by silence, wrapped in a flag stamped non-refundable. We feed enforcement. We feed fences. We budget for brutality and leave classrooms to choke on chalk, just warhead stuff like olives, and children skip like meals. We write Dear John letters to reverence as we dance clothed and choreograph collapse. When the ledges burn, when the ballots bleed, when the bones barter themselves for safety, someone will sift through the soot and find a paper plate, edges curled like a question, lettering blurred by bite marks. Future, still visible, still cruel, still waiting. Beside it, a fork polished clean by a child's patience. Picket lines and picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. No answers, just the warmth of the plate, like God walked out of the kitchen and left the burner on. Oh, what's going on? The blackout will not announce itself. It will not slip into your DMs or slide into your notifications. There will be no influencer unboxing video, no live tweeted play-by-play. When the blackout comes, it will be too late to tweet. Is anyone else experiencing this? The blackout doesn't care about your hashtags. It doesn't care about who you followed, unfollowed, or muted in a quiet act of digital rebellion. It will roll over your feed like a shadow and leave you staring into a void that can't be scrolled away. The blackout will not buffer. It will not ask you to agree to new terms of service. There will be no loading bar, no voice saying, recalculating. When the signal drops, you'll realize it was never a connection, just a threadbare illusion tied to a tower swaying in the wind. The blackout will not DM you. It will not ping, buzz, or vibrate. It will not come with a 5-star review, a 15-second unskippable ad, or a suggestion for what to binge next. When the blackout comes, you'll feel the silence pressing against your chest like a stranger who knows your name. There will be no screenshots of your loneliness propped and captioned for clout on the instant replay. There will be no screenshots of your loneliness propped and captioned for clout on the instant replay. There will be no videos of your reflection swiping past its own humanity. No live stream of the silence pressing against your chest when the notifications stop. There will be no influencers crying over the loss of their follow accounts. There will be no curated crisis, no perfectly lit breakdowns with a call to action in the description. The blackout will not make you feel seen. It won't send you a reassuring emoji or a "you got this" gif in your group chat. When the blackout comes, you'll find yourself face to face with a silence that knows exactly who you are. It will not swipe right. It will not double tap your highlight reel. It will remind you that all the filters in the world couldn't hide the cracks in your reflection. The blackout will not live stream, will not live stream, will not live stream. The blackout will not replay in your stories, will not pop up in your memories next year, will not be available on demand. The blackout will not go viral. The blackout will not trend. The blackout will not be sponsored by anyone because the blackout doesn't need your permission. The blackout will be no highlight reel, no retouch, no filter. The blackout will be real. The blackout will be raw. The blackout will be now. You hoarded hope like handfuls of sand, managed mercy like counterfeit coins, spent it only on yourself until it sifted through your clenched convictions. You script salvation, but skip the chapters where the pen presses against your own pulse. Carve prayers into polished wood, but refuse to sit in the seat you fashioned for repentance. You demand intervention, but manufacture monstrosities by muscle memory. And you ask me, if you are real, why do you allow pain? I allow you. You, artisan of alibi and affliction, architect of your own avalanches, engineer of your own exodus. You mold misery with meticulous hands, then marvel at the mess. You do not slip into sin. You step in, smiling. Season your selfishness with selfishness, and then swallow them. You chew consequences like cud and spit blame skyward and pray I will swallow it whole. I do not pull your strings. You tangled your own. Cinched the knots, admired your handiwork, and then cursed me for the rope burns. You say you do not see me, and I say you do not see you. You seek me in the clouds, but I crouch behind your choices. You scour scripture, but I am the silence between your skipped pages. I do not delight in your despair, but I will not deny you the dignity of your consequence, because love that rescues before repentance breeds a creation convinced it never needed correction. You want me to spare you from suffering. I sent my own son into blood and betrayal. Thorns on his brow, nails in his hands, just to spare you the silence between us. He wept blood into dirt I had formed with my own breath, and even he beneath a sky darkened by my own grief, asked if the cup could pass from him. You ask where I've been. Were you not there when the accident should have killed you? But missed by an inch, you chalked up the chance. Were you not there when the doctors shook their head, but the verdict evaporated like mist at dawn? Were you not there when you almost lost it all, yet something unseen repaired your ruin just long enough for you to crawl through it? See, you call these coincidences. I call them unsung compassion. You count every unanswered prayer, but do you catalog the ones answered before your lips could form the words? You say, why me? And I answer, why not you? Who told you endurance was the evidence of absence? I did not promise you a detour around despair. I promised to walk through it with you, and I still do. Ask the three who stood unsinged in the furnace. Ask the lion fed who slept beneath my vigilance. Sound. You want me to clear the storm, but I came to teach you how to command it. You crave a creator who will control you, but I crave a creation courageous enough to control itself. And when you can't hear my voice, please trust my plan. You call my silence cruelty, but what is crueler? A God who governs your every breath, or a God who grants you the terrifying freedom to govern? You say my rod and staff do not comfort you, but you loaded them with your own fears, crowned yourself with the weight, marched beneath their silhouette, then cursed the sun for casting it. You say you carry burdens I did not give, but you carry burdens I never asked you to lift, took on debts like trophies of your own endurance, mistaking martyrdom for mastery. You remember the good and broken people, but with me, you only remember the storms, never the shelter. Still, you ask me, where were you? So listen, I was the breath you borrowed while cursing my name. I was there when you sold your scars into stories and forgot to give me the pen. I was there in the moment you mistook coincidence for providence, ignored, and I am here still, because I'm waiting for you to stop blaming the blueprint for how you broke the building. You cry, I'm the prayer you are still deciding whether to finish. And I say, you are the prayer I have already begun. but I left you unfinished so you would learn how to write the amen with your own trembling hand. And when you do, know this, it will not be an ending, but an opening. Because even as you write amen, I will still be writing you. Amen is not the final word. You are. You are. I am the Lord, I change it not. I won't forget, nor have I forgot. You see, everything works according to my plan. I am God, trust me, I've got the whole world in my hand.